welcome. I wasn't planning on making any more because I thought 2 scenarios was enough, but I actually started a 3rd scenario just for my own fun, and somebody did request that I do at least one more because they still wanted to see something else and also maybe an example of how this game could be a little different than the first 2. So I started a scenario of Feast for Umgarth, Umordoth, and I probably pronounced that wrong as well. So yeah, I've already started this. I've already taken the hero. I've done 1 full round, and I've just finished taking the hero's action for round 2. But I'm ready to do the monster phase. And just quick reminder, that means I'm on step 2 of the 2nd round. So you haven't missed much. And for those of you that are complaining that I take too long explaining setup and stuff, well then this is for you. Also, just a sneak preview, I do want to wrap this up because this just arrived today. Discover Lands Unknown, and I'm very anxious to see what I got in my box. I haven't even looked yet. Obviously, you can tell my box cover is missing. I can tell you I have desert biome and something else like swampland or whatever, but that's all the further I got. So anyways, so what makes this scenario different? Well, first of all, as you can tell, it's a different neighborhood formation. This one's a very generous one, meaning you can get everywhere as fast as you can. I am playing with 6 characters, which I've proven always means that I miss some kind of skill or ability. But that's fine. I wanted to play with some of my favorites that I've played so far, and then some new ones. So Agnes Baker, I played twice while I was at FFG's Arkham Knights, and I do find her to be a great character. She's really great at removing lore, and she's as good as Michael McGlenn with attacking. It's just she does spells instead. You do need remnants with her, so it is nice if she can get some remnants. And right now you can see with her 2 damage, she hasn't gotten any remnants yet. The Marie Lambeau, in my opinion, is the best character in the game because her ability to give us free action to someone, free actions are king. And so anyways, I love that about her. Dexter Drake is just an amazing character. I haven't played him yet, but he's so far really cool. He's, in my opinion, always been sort of one I've avoided in every other Arkham game I've played, especially Eldritch. And he's just not very interesting to me. He obviously has an interesting, the way he dresses and whatnot, but his abilities always have been a little weak. But even his other card, which lets him travel around town using a spell, even that's weak in my mind. There's always something about him I don't like. But in this game, he does have some really cool abilities. Once per round while resolving a lore test, he can reroll 1 or all of his dice, which is great. And then he may test lore in place of observation as part of an evade action, also great. And his cane has 2 health and 2 sanity on it, so he can actually put damage on his cane somehow. And that gives him +2 lore while casting a spell. Rex Murphy seemed really interesting, but so far he's been very challenging. He has unlimited focus, which I think doesn't mean unlimited. I think what it means is he can have 1 focus for all of his skills. And the reason I say that is because one of his abilities that you can pick says you can focus each skill up to twice. Well, if he has unlimited focus, why would I need this, right? I should be able to focus each skill 5 times, right, if it's unlimited. So I think this unlimited word is not what we think it is. So I've took this with the assumption that this means he can have focus on every skill he has once, and then this would mean he can now have focus on every skill he has twice, which you will notice he has lore twice. His weirdness is he can only 6s count for success, and he's not allowed to be blessed or cursed. But if he fails a test, he gets a focus for free. And actually, that's why he has so many. I took Michael McGlenn because when it comes to killing monsters, nobody's better than him. And yes, I took Old Boiler again. I think Old Boiler is the better path. I also took Ashcan Pete, and I really enjoyed playing him. I think he's an awesome character. If you can get a hold of him, I recommend it. And that guitar over there is really good with the 6-player game, and he definitely has used it. And that's it. Now, as far as, the towns, I won't go into what all the towns are because you've seen them all by now with the 2 scenarios. But the more important thing is there are no anomalies in this game. So normally the anomaly card is card number 2, and it's still on the archive deck. So what we have instead is we have an outbreak going on. And if a space has 4 or more doom, remove 3 from that space, then place 1 doom in each other space in the neighborhood. So it's sort of like a pandemic kind of thing. And then we have, when there's 8 or more doom on the scenario sheet, flip this card. And when there's 3 or more clues, discard all the clues from the scenario sheet and flip this card, okay? And then the reckoning effect on the actual scenario itself, you may not be able to read it from here, but it says place 1 doom. So 1 doom automatically goes in a scenario, and you can tell in a 6-player game, we drew all these tokens in just 1 Mythos phase, so that is going to happen very fast. We have clues everywhere. We have 1 here, we have 2 there, and we have 2 up there. I have yet to find a single one. We've been doing encounters and either failing at them or just getting normal stuff. So that's where we're at right now. There's no monsters on the board. I play a game where the monsters don't get to live very long. That's why I have Michael McGlynn and Agnes Baker here. Their sole job is to hunt them down. So anyways, with that being said, let's just jump in. We're going to do some encounters here. And because of the number of players, I'm going in order all the way across. And I actually flip tokens to show what I did so I don't lose track. That's been my biggest concern with this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this down like so. And I move the dice deck up, or this up, whenever it is time to do something like this. And then I just put it back. Okay, so we're going to start off with Agnes Baker, and I know you can't see the board, but she's at Southside, which has 2 clues. So let's try her first. And we got a clue. So she's at the Historical Society. The historians are hesitant to discuss occult issues. You may spend 1 remnant to prove the validity of your claims. Unfortunately, she has none. All right, so we were not able to resolve this because we have no remnant. So that really stinks. So I'm putting the clue back in. I think that might be the first time I ever failed to get a clue. And yeah, you just shuffle it back into the deck. All right, so she's done. And another person who's also there is Rex Murphy. So I'm going to just draw another card while I'm at it. And let's do his. After a discussion about local legends, you speak to one of the society guests. So we have to test negotiation here. And his negotiation is 4, because he has a focus token. And he failed. I know you can't see real well, but yes, he failed. So we get to grab another token. And so what I grab is I always grab whatever it is I failed in. So I'm going to grab another negotiation token for him. And that also gets shuffled back in. So this scenario so far has been very frustrating. We've been in clue spaces and we're not getting clues. Since no anomalies show up, I actually had a space that would have triggered one, but you don't actually put anomalies there. You just keep playing. So he's done. And now we're going to try Marie Lambeau. She's in Easttown and at the police station. Sheriff Engel doesn't seem to believe your stories about horrible monsters. Either test negotiation to plead your case or spend 1 remnant to show him some proof. She actually has a remnant, so we're going to spend it and we'll show him some proof. And yeah, it was a police station. If you spend the remnant, the sheriff gives you a gun and a badge. You become the deputy of Arkham and gain a service piece. Oh, I like that one. We've seen that one before. So, deputy of Arkham. And, oh, where is it? Service piece. Okay. So, service piece is going to give her +2 as part of her attack action, and gets 1 eyeball during the encounter phase, and her focus goes up by 1. So the good news is her knife is a 1-hand and the service piece is another 1-hand. And then she has a focus limit of 2, so now it could be 3. So that's pretty good. All right, so she's done. Moving on, Ashcan Pete is in downtown, the Independent Square. You must allow me to read your fortune, insists the fortune teller Anna Caslow. She slips several tarot cards as you sit. The darkness that falls over Arkham is watching you closely. Be ready to act. Seize any opportunity. She gives you a card to keep as a talisman. You gain the Ace of Rods. So we didn't have to do anything. We just get the Ace of Rods. And if I remember correctly, I think that's a pretty good item. I've seen this one before. Oh, it's always going to be the last place you look. Oh, it's okay. When you spend a focus to reroll a die, you may reroll any number of dice instead. So, not bad, since he can get focused pretty easily. Okay, so Ashcan is done. And now we have 2 more. Michael McGlenn is in Uptown. In Hangman's Hill. You find a small shrine to Nodens. You gain 1 remnant. Oh, let's do that right away before I forget. Oh, he already has 2, so he's got 3 now. You are struck by the vision of the Lord of the Great Abyss. Okay, his will is 3. So he's better than most for a gangster. Oh, and he passes. He shows you how ghouls have been using night gaunts. You gain 1 clue from the neighborhood. If you fail, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we got a clue. That's good. It's the only clue from the neighborhood. And it's on Michael McGlenn, of all people. All right, well, anyways, he's got 1 with his observation of 1. And then we go to Dexter Drake, who probably would have been a better one. But that's how it works. He's in Ye Old Magic Shop. These books look like they're owned by Comte de Saint-Germain himself, explains Miriam Beecher. So you know I can't let them go cheap. Reveal the top 4 spells in a deck. You may buy any number of them. Put the rest on the bottom. All right, well, that is decent. I just don't know how much money he has. I'm looking right now. He has $4. So, top 4 spells. Where's the spell deck? Here they are. All right, so we got, that's 3. So we have Healing Words for 2, Shriveling for 3. Now, just a reminder, once per round, you may reroll 1 of all your dice. His focus limit is equal to the number of spells he has. So right now he has 1 spell, so he can do 1 focus. So by buying another spell, he's going to be able to get a second focus. So I sort of like this one. And then this is very similar to the one he could have started the game with, this Astral Travel. Actually, I think it's identical. That's crazy. I'm trying to find his ability. 1 second. Yes, it is. Look. That's his ability that I chose not to take. Astral Travel. And there it is. Ha! All right, well, maybe we'll take that one because what I'm thinking is he has $4, so I'm going to take 2. So that way he can have a focus limit of 3. So, because the spells themselves aren't necessary per se, I think he can just kill. Well, although he probably should get an attack spell. That's okay. I'm going to take those 2, and his focus limit now goes up by 2, which I think is a better move right now. And I do have to spend his $4. All right, that's everybody. So now the very arduous task of drawing tokens. With 6 players, we drew the entire cup, except for 2. So what I do is I'm actually drawing them 2 at a time and then just placing them next to the character. And then I come back and resolve the characters 1 at a time. And whatever's on top gets resolved first. So you can see there's all kinds of nastiness happening. My thoughts are it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to draw them. And it's not like we do actions in between. So there's no harm in just having everybody draw them and then we resolve them later. Okay? So starting with her, she's getting a monster. So we just draw a monster out. It's the Eyeless Watcher. Spawns in an unstable space, which is St. Mary's Hospital, right here. And it's a hunter. So anyways, he's right there next to Michael McGlenn, so he will be dead soon. And then we have a headline. So it says, you may choose one. Place 1 doom in your space. If you're in a street chase, spawn 1 monster in your space. This is Agnes, who's over here. I could put a doom there. Not sure what good that does me. See, we're staying there because we want to draw those clue cards. I know one of them requires a remnant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn a monster there, hoping that I can get a remnant from that monster. Let's see. It's the masked ones. And no, they don't give a remnant. So this was very bad. It says, did it say in your space? Yes, it did. So we're going to spawn in our space, and then she's going to take it. So he's going to be engaged with her. And he is a lurker, so it would have been really bad. But anyways, she's going to have one engaged with her. And let's keep going. Reckoning effect. So another doom is going on the scenario. And nobody else has a reckoning effect. And then we get a horror. So, or a doom, I'm sorry. So it's going to be in Rivertown at the general store. So general store gets one. Then another doom. It's going to be at Easttown. Hibbs. Well, hold on. There's 2 of them there. There's Hibbs Roadhouse and the police station. That's interesting. I wonder if that was intentional. I'll give it to the police station. There's 2 unstable spaces. Okay, moving on. Dexter has to now do a headline. Choose another investigator in any space. Spawn 1 monster in that investigator space. Well, that's not good. I'm going to choose Agnes here. And we have the Ghoul Acolyte. Spawn it. It's another lurker. Jeez Louise. So the lurker, both of these lurkers, in fact, they don't engage you. So I made a mistake. They both just stay in the space. They don't engage anybody until you engage them. They're very happy not being engaged because they're lurkers. So they just do damage from afar. Okay, so now we get to this one. And so we're going to spawn, and it's in Uptown. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle that deck, but the first thing we do is a doom appears in every space. And there would normally be an anomaly, but there's no anomalies in this scenario. So it just stays like that. Okay, so then I'm going to put this down so I can shuffle. When you play 6 players versus soloing, this Mythos phase is so insane. I mean, the game board just changes so much from turn to turn. It's a little chaotic, to be quite honest. I'm not sure how good that is. I mean, if you like chaos, for sure. But it's really easy for 6 players to do their actions and still not accomplish much. Okay, so now we move to the next 2. So we got a clue we're going to put out, and then a doom. So since I draw them from different places, the doom I'll do first. It's in the back, and it's St. Mary's again. So we now have 3 doom in one space, and I just got to read that card again. Oh, if a space has 4 or more doom, something happens. So nothing happens there. And then the clue itself is going into downtown, which already has 2 other clues. So downtown is just riddled with clues at the moment. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the 3 cards I'm shuffling are all 3 of them clues. Okay, so keep going. I go to the final character, and here's the last 2 Mythos Cup tokens. We're going to spawn a monster, and then nothing. So the monster is the Ghoul Priest, also a lurker. And he's going to spawn at the most doom, which I think is right here in front of us. So he's going to also be there. So there's a lot going on, and I probably should have taken that attack spell with Dexter Drake. But that's our situation, and we're on to round 3. So actions. I'm looking around. I think we want to kill these guys. So Agnes Baker is going to go first. She does not have a remnant, which stinks. And in her case, after she casts a spell, she can focus. That part's great. But the problem is that she's going to suffer a horror to cast that spell. And in her case, she can suffer a damage instead. And if she suffers a damage instead of a horror, or spends a remnant, which means she doesn't have to spend anything, she gets +2 lore. And of course, her ability with the spell is she can use lore instead of strength to do an attack. That's the whole point of this. So her lore is 5. And so she's definitely going to do the spell. So then the question is, does she want +2 more? And she's going to... I'm just looking at these. Oh, see, look, right here. This Ghoul Acolyte in her space drops a remnant. So she's going to attack this one. And she's going to decide, does she want to take another damage, which, you know, she's already 2 out of 6. And she's going to do it. So she's going to take another damage. So that means she gets to roll 4, 5, 6, 7 lore. So here's 3. There's 1 damage. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 2 damage. All right, so with the 2 damage, the Ghoul Acolyte is dead, and she got a remnant for it, which was very important for her, because I think one of these clues requires a remnant. But she does have 3 damage, so that part's concerned. And she gets to focus. So her focus limit is 2, so it's not like she's that great at focusing, but we're going to get her an observation because she's probably going to be getting a clue, and we want to be able to do research. So that was 1 action. And then for her other action, what's she going to do? She can focus. She can't. She can collect money. I mean, she's not engaged, so she doesn't have to worry about being restricted because of this monster. She can even move away if she wanted. And that's another option. Here, you can spend money to heal. So actually, she's going to just move 1 space to do that. I think that's actually a really good option. So 1 space to heal for her. And then we're going to try to attack the other one with him. I know he's not that good at attacking, and that's not his role. But it's an elite, and it has 2 + 1 additional health for every investigator. Holy crap, that's 8 health. Okay. Only 6s pass when he does a test. This is an awful one to engage. I don't know if I want him to. He only has 2 strength. It's a lurker. So the lurker will place 1 doom in its space. I think he has no choice but to leave it be. Holy cow, that's just an awful, awful... I'm actually starting to second guess that maybe the lurkers do engage you when you get into their space. They just don't engage you otherwise, because it's, I think, the elusive ones that don't engage you when you're in their space. I might have gotten that wrong. I apologize. So I think he has no choice but to... I think he's engaged. I think she got engaged to the other one, and this one was engaged, and I don't think I had a choice. So, anyways, I'm just going to move forward as if they automatically engage when you're in their space. So, yes, he's got an 8 hit point thing, and he has no spells or anything to help him. And he can re-roll all of his dice once per round. So he's going to roll 2 strength, and he did get 1 hit. So 1 damage on an 8 hit point monster. He's not going to cut the mustard. And then he's going to try to evade. I mean, that's the thing to do here. It's a 3 observation check. And... yeah, let's try it. Whoops. And, of course, it failed. I think he has that ability. Yes, he just failed a test, so he can gain a focus. So he's going to gain an observation focus. So he's definitely got lots of focus. Foci, maybe, because it's plural. He's in trouble. He's in big, big trouble. This thing's going to do some damage to him. Okay, so they are done. So let's not forget to flip their token. Okay, so moving on. We got 2 more monsters over here to deal with. McGlenn, of course, would be the perfect guy to come over and help, but he's got to go through his own stream of monsters. And he's going to do... well... we're actually going to move on to her first. We're going to do Maria. Her first thing she's going to do is she's going to do a ward action. And she has 3 lore. And she failed her ward action. But then she's going to have... let's see, McGlenn. Well, we can remove 1 here, or remove 5 there. So... or I'm sorry... probably just 1 there, because he's only going to roll 2 dice. We'll have McGlenn do it, because we know he's not going to do a ward action. And he actually removed 1. All right, so that's part of Maria's special ability. And then Maria's second action, I like the police station. I don't see any reason to move at this point. So I'm going to stay there, and then let's focus something. We're going to focus in a lore. Because she does get bonus lore when she's attacking, but not when she's warding. So we'll grab a lore. And that's done. And now her turn's over. So Michael McGlenn is going to go. He's going to do a move and attack. Big surprise there. So it's my understanding both of these are going to engage him. And so then it's just a matter of which one's worse. The Ghoul Priest has 4 hit points. So McGlenn will... go after the Ghoul Priest first. It also has a -1, so he's going to only roll 7 dice. There's 3 for 1 hit. And there's 4 for 2 3 hits. And this thing has 4 life points. That stinks. All right, so what else can he do? Oh, he could have used Old Boiler. Would he have used Old Boiler? The answer is yes, he would have used Old Boiler, but I would not have done it on the same guy. I would have used Old Boiler on the other one, because I would have assumed that I could kill the one I had. But that's how I would have done it if I was thinking of this before I rolled. So yes, Old Boiler to the rescue there. And yeah, he hasn't defeated a monster. He could recover a sanity or get a focus if he defeats a monster. Oh, look at this. He has +1 strength, focus. So there's still hope for one more hit. Haha, look at that. Ding, 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 ding. The gold priest is dead. I absolutely would have done it exactly the way it played out if I would have remembered a boiler first of all. All right, so now we got Dexter Drake, and he's going to come over, and he's not quite as good at attacking, but he is going to pull this engagement from McGlenn, and then he's going to attack this, and I think he has no choice but to use only 2 strength, so he's only going to get 2 dice to roll. And there it is, 1 hit. And that's enough to kill the Eyeless Watcher. So the only monster that stayed alive is the one over here, and there's nothing I can do because the last person is Ashcan Pete, who has an ability that helps other players, and guess what? He's all the way on the other end of the map. Life is funny. All right, so he's going to do a scrounge action or whatever it's called, and that gives him $1. And unfortunately, everything that's in here is more than $2, so he can't get a free item. And that's been the case for a long time. So actually, the entire game, he has not been able to get a free item. But I think he also gets to focus. Yes, yes, yes. He can focus himself and other players, so he can take one more focus action. So we gave him negotiation, we gave him will. And I think, I mean, he's pretty good in all of the stuff, but we're going to give him a lore because I just think lore is going to be helpful in case tokens show up there. There's hardly any lore tokens left. Okay, so that's it for everybody's actions, unfortunately. And we do have one monster. So we go to the monster phase, and this monster is going to give him, give Rex here 1 mental damage. Now, what's interesting is if Rex is willing to take 2 damage, he can prevent these masked ones from putting a doom in his space. But I'm just going to let the doom go into the space. I don't see any harm with that. And then he takes his 1 mental damage, like so. All right, and then we move on to the encounter phase, and Rex is the only one who can't do an encounter, which is unfortunate. But we're going to go ahead and, so I'll flip him back over because he's done. He can't do anything. Just checking the text. Okay, so we're going to just start with Agnes Baker here. She's in Ma's boarding house. And we'll get that set up like that. And it's the south side. A shortened rest at Ma's is just what you need. You may spend $1 to recover 3 health. She's going to do that every day and twice on Sundays. So 3 health is recovered for her. She had exactly 3 damage, so we were able to recover 3 health. And Ma's looking for someone to take care of the man's dog. The hunting dog joins you. That was a nice surprise. I think a hunting dog is going to couple nicely with her magic abilities. So I'm going to see if I can find the hunting dog here. Ah, there's a black cat. There's a stray dog. A stray cat. Oh, here we go, hunting dog. Putting the deck down, and I'll show you in a second. Once per round, while resolving a test, you may reroll dice up to the number of clues in your neighborhood. Oh, that's pretty handy. She's in a neighborhood with 2 clues right now. Okay, so she's done. So moving on, we got Marie Lambeau at the police station. Tell me again what happened, says the deck sergeant. Either test, observation, or spend 1 clue to recount the incident in vivid detail. We are not spending a clue. We don't have one. And her observation is a whole whopping 2. But she's the deputy of Arkham, so she gets +1 during the encounter phase. So I know you can't see it, but that one's a success. So you can pick through the evidence locker and gain 1 common item with value 4 or greater. That is fantastic because we have a whole bunch of items that are 4 or greater at the moment. So I'm going to pick this up again. There's a shotgun, for Pete's sakes. I mean, she doesn't need it, but she can give it to somebody. I think the bulletproof vest might actually be really good for her. She has low health as a character, and then this would make it so she doesn't die. I was very tempted to take this, but then I would have to trade it with somebody like later. It's just not helpful to her individually, but I will take the bulletproof vest, and then that puts out a Thompson. So we got yet more big items. Oh, my apologies. Actually, I just realized there was an even better item out here. The silver key. That was a very nice item. So we'll take that, and now the Thompson is out there. Okay, so moving on. She's done. I'm going to do Dexter Drake, who's in Uptown. Funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. How can you not think of that song every time you play this game? All right, he's on St. Mary's Hospital. Hospital's too busy. None of the regular doctors or nurses have any time for you. An old Chinese man proposes acupuncture. You may spend $2 to become blessed. He doesn't have any money, so it doesn't do him any good. So we're done with that encounter. McGlenn is in the same exact location, so we're gonna grab one for him. And it's probably not gonna be helpful to him either. Looking fervently left and right, the orderly opens the glass case and takes out a small bottle of painkillers. You or an ally recover 2 health. Any more and you gotta pay. He's not damaged at all, so that was still a very nice card if I needed to heal. Who else is left? Looking around, Ashcan is left, and he's downtown at the Independence Square. The sinkhole in the square has revealed a rare object. You gain 1 curio item. Suddenly the earth shakes. Okay, let's do the curio item first. We just went through these. But as far as curios go, there's only 2 to choose from, and it's the Grim Fairy Tale or the Fine Clothes. So I'm going to take the Fine Clothes, because after all, Ashcan looks like a guy who would never wear fine clothes. Oh, I drew from the wrong deck. The next item going on is the magnifying glass. See, that's an item he can get for free if he scrounges. Okay, so now the rest of his clue, or encounter. So we have to do a will check, and I'm reaching around here to look. He has 4 will because he has a focus in that ability. And I don't think he passed. Nope, he didn't. Let's see, he has an Ace of Rods. Yeah, so he's going to spend a focus. He'll spend the will focus. He could spend any focus, really. He'll spend the will focus and re-roll all 4 dice. Oh my gosh, that's still a fail? That's crap. Okay, well, we would have gotten a clue. If you fail, you're too frightened to move. You suffer 1 damage, so he now takes a damage. Ashcan is not happy about that. All right, so then just shuffling in the card. And we move on to the Mythos phase. Okay, there's exactly 2 in the cup, and it's those 2. Then I'm going to give those to Agnes, and everything else is going back in the cup. If you're curious, if you've watched the other 2 scenarios, the cup hasn't changed at all. From scenario 1 to scenario 2 to scenario 3, it's the exact same items in this cup. All right, so Maria gets 2, and then here's 2 for Dexter. 2 more. That goes to Rex. 2 more for Mr. McGlynn. And 2 more for Ashcan. Okay. So moving on. Here we got a blank and a clue. So Rivertown is getting another clue. So this scenario doesn't have anomalies, and it just seems to be really heavy on clues, and of course there's just doom going right on the scenario card. And what's crazy is, unlike the other games, I'm not being very lucky with getting these clues. And I'm in a space, like for example with Ashcan, with 3 clues, and I have yet to get one of them. The only person who got a clue was Michael McGlynn, and it's going to be good luck, you know, giving that clue to someone else, or getting it researched. So, anyways, the only thing I'm trying to say is, for those of you that were looking for this to be different, right now the only difference is there's no anomaly rules. And of course, we don't know what happens when these cards flip over, so it could start going in the crazy directions there. But right now, this is just like the other 2 scenarios. You're gaining clues and not trying to get doom. So anyways, I don't think you can avoid that. That's the whole point of Arkham games. So anyways, investigators are going to keep investigating here. So we got a monster is going to spawn, and then a reckoning. Well, we know the reckoning. That's easy. We now have a 3rd doom token on our scenario, and it says if there's 8 or more, we flip. The monster is going to be a corpse taker. Spawn at the most doom, which I think is here. So Mr. McGlynn's going to be held up yet again. Sorry. Where McGlynn is, there's 3 doom on that space. So that spawns there, and it's one of those mega hit point one. It's going to have 8 hit points, and it's definitely going on Glenn. Gets to engage somebody, so it's a lurker. Yeah, and that one moves Doom from his space to the scenario sheet. That's crazy. Okay, 2 blanks for Dexter. A gate burst for Rex, which is Easttown. So Easttown's getting 3 more. 3, 3, and 1. Easttown's not looking good. And shuffle those in. Then we get a headline. Place 2 Doom in your space unless you have a Dark Pact token. I don't have a Dark Pact token. And who is this? This is Rex Murphy. So 2 Doom here. And the good news is we don't have anomalies, so this isn't hurting us as badly. You can have 3 Doom in a space and nothing even happens. But yes, this goes away. And then we got a Doom and another headline for So the Doom is St. Mary's Hospital. So an airplane just flew by my home, and there is like a local itty bitty airport here that you get, you know, puddle jumpers, but this was like a jet. I've never experienced that before this close to my house. Okay, so here's the first time. We got 4 Doom in one space, and then it says, remove 3 Doom, I'm sorry. Come on. I need 3 hands. Here we go. Remove 3 Doom from that space, then place 1 Doom in each other neighborhood and 1 on, okay, yeah. So what it's saying is you're gonna take 3 Doom from the space that had the 4 Doom, and then 1 Doom just goes, so the Doom just spreads around the neighborhood, like that, and then this last Doom goes on the scenario, so we now have 4. I'm not doing well. Okay, keep going. Oh, he gets a headline as well. Boy, I'm just having an awful time with this focus. If you have 1 or more clues, you become cursed. Well, this is McGlenn. Yes, he's cursed. Jeez Louise. And I think you just grab a blessed card and then flip it over. Only 6s count as success. After you just pass a test, you discard it. Okay, so this isn't helpful because Glenn needs to kill some monsters. That's very bad, in fact. Okay, and then we go to Ashcan Pete, and he's going to do a Doom and a monster. So the Doom is going on the police station. Where was the police? Oh, where was it? Oh, same thing's happening. It's going to spread around, and then 1 goes on, and then look at this. This happens. It spreads around, and another 1 goes on. So we have 3, 6. She failed her ward action last time. And another monster is spawning. All right, it says spawn in an unstable space, which is the police station. So not only is she not going to be able to ward, so basically it's a vicious glutton, and it is going to engage her right away. So I'm going to put that on her. Okay, I need to take a quick break. It's time for some monster action, but this is scenario 3, feast for Umordoth. I'll never pronounce that or even remember it. Umordoth. 6 out of 8 Doom tokens, and we have not researched a single clue. So things aren't good for the investigators of Arkham this time around. Thanks for watching. See you soon.